Satnam, beautiful friends, and a very, very happy 2023 to you all. Brace yourselves, hold on tight, because the 2023 Crazy Train roller coaster has just taken off today, as a matter of fact, on January 1st. I say Satnam and Happy New Year, beautiful friends. Welcome to my channel and my 16th annual World Predictions. I thank you all once again for the love and support over the years, and that all make this very possible. I thank you for being a part of the tribe and smashing that subscribe and like buttons down below as well, below this video. And I thank you to my Awaken Your Spirit community members and the members of supporters of this community and those that are in my Zoom chat right now, supporters. I am grateful. You can join and support this channel down below or find all the links to everything down below. Of course, you can't ever have some time without tittle tea time, right? I have so much to cover today. We have a big storm happening here right now. Currently, it's raining. It's going to turn into a big snowstorm soon. Fun. I left Pennsylvania thinking less snow in Arizona, but then I moved into a canyon and we get hit all the time. So if my connection, hopefully, knock on wood, will be good. Otherwise, it might have to be recorded and uploaded, but we're going to play and see how far we can get. So much can happen in an entire year, and so much is about to happen. I cannot possibly cover every single topic, every single country in this one broadcast. So be sure to smash that subscribe button, followed by the bell for notifications. And remember, I'm also live every single Tuesday for Tuesday's Tittle Tea Time predictions updates. I have several more prediction videos to bring you in January, including a full weather 2023 prediction video, economic predictions, and many, many more. Even a country-to-country predictions, because I won't be able to cover all countries or any countries today, but I'll cover a lot. So again, make sure you become a part of my tribe, smash that subscribe, and hit that like button as well. So I welcome you to the New World Disorder, because it's not a New World Order, it's a New World Disorder. And disorder is going to be huge in 2023. In some parts, it's going to seem that the Tower of Babylon is falling, but not quite yet, my friends, not quite yet. 2023, a vibrational year in 7 vibrational year in numerology, sorry. The 7 is a very highly spiritual vibrational tone to it and can actually uplift us all into new levels of consciousness with amazing ascension to our planet and everybody upon our planet. It is a year that will bring about great self-discoveries of truth, ancient discoveries that have been tucked away for thousands of years. And it is a huge year for justice, truth, disclosure, and change, my friends. This year is going to begin to really shift the way we think about things and the way we look at things in the world, especially our history and all of our history of the world. I don't know who just put a chat cash through, but thank you very much for that. It's a year to remember our true history, while making new history and making 2023 a year that we will never want to forget. So 2023 is going to flow much easier than it has in the past. Let's slow this thing down. Much easier than the past. Not to say that we won't see our share of chaos and craziness in the world, but the exciting part of 2023 will be the amazing innovations, the new discoveries, and truth gushing out like a broken water main. I have a ton of content to cover today, which now gives all those content thieves out there lots of opportunity in the phonies to have more content to steal and claim as their own. Therefore, all the following content is always copywritten material and all predictions. This year, I organized things quite differently. I did it by groups and by numbers. So numbered predictions usually have multiple predictions within each one. And the categories today that I'm going to cover, or try to cover as many as I can, is going to be church and state, Amazing new innovations and discoveries. Truth, of course. Politics, the Bidens, the whole family. Canada, the crime and punishment, the economy, Europe, and so much more. Important dates to cover as well. Important dates of this year. And so many other things to share with you today. There's no way that I could get through it all today, like I said. And I will bring the rest to you, a lot of the rest of this to you on Tuesday's show. So make sure you tune into that. And again, I'll have separate videos coming out over the next week and two for other things as well. The written notes and channeled information will be available on my Awaken Your Spirit Subscribe Star supporters on levels 2 and above in late January, early February. Lastly, keep in mind that many of my predictions can occur in 2024 and beyond 2024. Sometimes predictions, like if you go back to my 2019 predictions on New Year, 2022, it was kind of creepy. Prepare. 11 magical chat cash. Let us state church and state number 1. So category church and state number 1 prediction. 2023, we were going to see a huge uptick in hatred towards religious groups and churches. The 7 vibrational year that 2023 represents has everything to do with spirituality and religion, and therefore it will have an intense impact on world religion and, of course, spiritual practices. Category church and state number 2. Not only are we going to see attacks on churches, synagogues, temples, and so forth, but also people of many faiths. This will also have an impact on raising people's consciousness, actually, which will therefore awaken people on an entire new level. Kind of exciting aspect to it. I remind you that one of the goals of the elite controlling families is to initiate their one global religion to go along with their global currency and government. And in 2023, it's going to be a year in which we begin to clearly see the evildoers bringing about and pushing this world religion. So it'll be really interesting to see what it ends up being. My idea is probably Luciferianism or Satan worshiping, but Spirit says they're going to start to really push it out there even more. So we'll have to see what ends up likely being the most popular religion of 2023. And by the end of 2023, that should help us to identify where things are going with their new global religion. Sick people. And if you missed, well, I'll just move on. Number 3, I'll tell you later. I see several church fires. And I got a little bit of this over the past year. And like I said, sometimes things take a little while to occur. One of these church fires, several churchgoers were unable to escape, or at least one. I didn't get a number, which is very sad. This will not just solely be within the United States, but instead, this is going to be a global attack on churches and religion, as I said. Years ago, I predicted that there'd be a historic fire that hit Notre Dame. That was quite some time ago, if you remember. There will be at least one, likely several fires that destroy historical sites or historical churches like that in which happened to Notre Dame. Mainly churches, but some museums as well. That was another thing Spirit showed me, museums, an attack on our history. Remember, this is all this year about revealing our history. Truth of our history, which is already out there. They try to suppress it or they say it's conspiracies, but it's going to be interesting. Like, I'm looking very forward to what's revealed in 2023. So part of this whole thing feels again to me like arson with the fires, arson out of complete anger and hatred. So I see 3 people being arrested for arson, and one, perhaps all 3, will end up being charged with murder in the one where the person's locked inside, or persons. Number 4, church and state. This comes from yesterday's top 10 world predictions video. So if you missed that one that I did yesterday, be sure to go back and check that out. It was a live video I did on the top 10 because some of it is included today, but not all of it, because it was different channeled information. So you're going to want to go check that video out if you missed it. We're going to hear a lot about the Catholic Church and other churches and religions as well. Spirit shows me visions of major gatherings at the Vatican, along with another that unites Catholics in several significant landmark places. Pause. So this happens to me every year where I get predictions, and this is why I used to start my predictions the end of November, beginning of December, and now I wait till last week this year because I had the bug and pulled out my back, and it just wasn't a great December with health and well-being. I did a crunch at the very, very end, but I start getting information about the coming year in December. Some of it I put out on some of my Tuesday shows in December. So go back and check out my shows that I did in September or December. But in turn, I might totally just had a brain freeze. I hate when that happens. I think I'll get some tea. Yogi tea. Sweet tangerine, positive energy. That is the tea I prefer. And I like jasmine green tea as well. There's a little bit of both in there, actually. So let me go back to here. Spirit showed me visions of, back to what I said yesterday. And I write things down and I get information like throughout December. Once I open up that channel, stuff just comes to me. I could be driving in the car or outside with the dog and I got to run in and type in notes. In my notes, I know people out there, the cynical trolls will be like, no, he's lying. But I did write down that Barbara Walters was going to die. And along with this prediction, which I didn't really alter much because I wrote it a couple days ago before Pope Benedict died. But there's more to go with this. Spirit shows me visions of major gatherings at the Vatican, along with something that unites Catholics at several significant landmarks. So I'm not sure what that's about. It appears to me that people are mourning a loss, but perhaps there will be actually two significant deaths coming to the Vatican and the Vatican Circle. Could it actually be two popes? Or perhaps the previous Pope Benedict, which again, I wrote this before he actually passed, along with Pope Francis, both. I can tell you that there was a year going back to the year 1276, which in numerology happens to be a 7-year. And that was a year they called the year of the 4 popes, which again happened to be a 7-year. And we are in a 7-year now. And I told you how much the 7 vibration highly affects spirituality, religion, and so forth. Really, really interesting. So likely, not only will there be 2 large funerals at the Vatican in 2023, there's more likely a 3rd surprise coming to the Vatican with mourning passings and deaths. You know, last year was a really huge year in losing people. The Queen and so many, Christy McVie from Fleetwood Mac. I'm a huge Fleetwood Mac fanatic, by the way, just so you know. Stevie Nicks told me she loved me and shook my hand. That's how much I love them. But this year is going to be even more significant with the deaths of celebrities, politicians, and so many others, which I don't know if I'll get to some of them today for y'all on YouTube, but I will on my Zoom group. So let's go to number 5, church and state. So many truths are going to be revealed in 2023 that will make our head spin. And at times, we will not know what to believe as far as the 7 vibration is related to religion and such, spirituality, but we won't know what to believe, which we already don't know what to believe half the time. But this stuff's going to be really head spinning, again, especially around religion, spirituality, and even cults. It is time for another huge whistleblower that's going to come forward from the Church of Scientology. And I'm pretty sure this will be another big celebrity that steps out. Like what's her name did. I can't remember her name. The Church of Scientology is going to pull some really sick moves for their little cult. Spirit showed me that they already started pulling these moves in 2022. They're changing rules. And the way that the Church of Scientology is disciplining their members is quite a stir. There will even be a potential murder investigation or investigations along with missing persons investigations revolved around the Church of Scientology. There may even be a point where their fearless leader goes into hiding on one of his islands, which I feel like he might be doing already. Come out, be commando, and then run back into hiding. Let's talk about a new topic, discoveries and truth. So every year people say, oh, it's all doom and gloom, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's predictions. What do you expect? When it comes to world events, things aren't always great. But this year, I got a lot of information I believe is very positive, especially in the way of discoveries and truth, because 2023 is going to be a huge, huge year for disclosure, discoveries, and truth, starting with number 6. Not long ago, I predicted new discoveries in chambers within Egypt and ancient Egyptian history. Just recently, one of y'all sent me one of those discoveries was uncovered in Egypt. But today, I predict that they have not even touched the surface to the amazing discoveries that are coming in 2023, not just in Egypt, but again, globally. An entire tunnel system exists beneath Egypt, and it's going to be proven. And there's going to be a fight to dig into history and to dig into this history. People in Egypt are going to really start wanting to know about their true history and the history of ancient Egyptians, something that's been withheld for so long, and for too long, actually. Now they have already held so much knowledge and discoveries from the masses, like not just in Egypt, but a lot of stuff they hide, what do you call it? Not just the government, like stuff that's hidden in the Vatican, and the stuff that that museum company, I can't think of their name, but you'll know who I'm talking about. They hide everything. So 2023, it's going to be a time for these truths and ancient wisdoms to be revealed to all. Some discoveries are going to prove our existence in history, even though there are some that already do, but this spirit shows me something bigger, something more convincing. And I think that has a lot to do with the 7 vibration of spirituality and our consciousness shifting, which will make more people. Thank you, Mr. Skylight, for your chat cash. It'll make people more receptive when they ascend into a different level of consciousness. They'll be more receptive to these truths that many of us already know about our existence and where we came from. So it can, and it's going to change the way humanity views both life and death, both. I see another huge elite from ancient Egypt, that is, being unearthed. The visions that Spirit showed me of this reminded me of King Tut being unearthed and how glistening and amazing it was when they discovered it. So something else to look forward to that's coming. And it might be again, if I got visions that reminded me of King Tut's discovery, I would think it would be as big as that, maybe even bigger. Number 7 in discoveries and truths. Discoveries will also be made in the Middle East and in Israel. First, something lies buried deep in Iraq. And, that's where Mesopotamia was and where they say we were stemmed from the beginning, depending on what ancient history you study and read. And so anyway, it's time, Spirit was showing me, for these deep underground things to be dug up somehow or be discovered, not necessarily dug up, but discovered. Underground ancient cities yet to be discovered. This will include this underground tunnel system, and even a line that is like an operation to traffic more than just drugs, but people and kids as well. So now see how that number prediction has several predictions within it. So something to pay attention to. So these tunnels that I'm talking about, especially the one that literally is like a mine with a little train system that goes into it with a motor on it. Like literally, it's kind of like a gold mine with the front car being a motored car that pulls everything through fast too. I saw things going through there fast. So it's big. And it's deep, so deep as the feeling I got with these tunnel systems. We know about many tunnel systems under, cities that were buried or whatever, but this feels really deep to me. And that might be the reason why it's not been discovered. But also, this comes to me now, is that there's going to be huge innovations around underground radar or underground X-rays, so to speak. And that's probably going to take them deeper and be able to see more. So some of these are going to be found in Europe, perhaps also by Russian forces in Europe discovering these underground tunnels. Now that would be a story. That would be a big story, actually. And of course, here in the States and other countries, they would hide that information. They wouldn't tell you, especially if Russia discovered it, which means it has to do with the UKR and that area of the globe. Some of these tunnels, Spirit tells me now, are going to actually run into Russia itself that they don't know about, but they will soon discover. And then they're going to use those tunnels as a way of helping them in their warfare. So this is why it's good to always watch live, because I get more information. Spirit gives me more information. Everything I just said to you is not here in my information. So, so not only, again, Russian forces, while many others of these underground cities and things reside right here in the United States, but also Israel. There's a lot of undiscovered in Israel. I know they know of a lot, but there's a lot more to come. Speaking of Israel, number 8. Number 8, Israel will also be responsible for major new discoveries and discoveries of ancient manuscripts. Some rolled up in jars or something. Some which they will actually, of course, try to hide, and then they'll turn around and call it a fake. Oh, it's not real. It's a fake. And remember this story. Remember I was talking about that, because when we hear that, we're going to want to know what this says. We're going to want this translated, because if they're hiding it and then it comes out and then they're calling it a fake, saying, oh, it was proven as a fake, we know that there's something big there. But Spirit says they will be very, very real. They will not be fake. Also, a new discovery that brings about more questions and perhaps even solid proof of the existence of Jesus Christ and the persecution of Jesus. That would be really cool and interesting. Definitely a year to watch Israel very, very closely. Not just for the discoveries, but so much more will be ignited within Israel. Number 9. With the drought hitting even harder in 2023, we will see so many bodies of water drying up. And that's a prediction I must have not finished, but I'll finish it right now live. So with the underground droughts, all these droughts and things drying up, bodies of water, this is going to be one of the things that assists in some of these major discoveries. There will even be found an ancient sword, not ancient, I don't know how ancient, but an old sword from the times of the Knights of the Round Table, along with a sword that has to do with the Knights of the Templar. These are going to be discovered in dry mud beds after things dry out over in Europe. One of these swords is actually going to be discovered between Canada and United States. And the one sword that Spirit shows me now, it looks like it's in pretty damn good condition. So I don't know if it's found wrapped in something. Maybe, more likely would be my guess. Thank you, Zuli, for your check cash. So I'm going to have to try to remember this, because, again, I don't have this in my notes. I'm channeling this through because it's a prediction. I must have got up to do something and forgot to return to that particular prediction. It happens, 14 hours and one day straight doing this. Takes a lot. Somebody else just put something through. Who was that? Oh, Carol. Thank you, Carol. That was a lovely chat cash. Thank you. I'm so grateful for all of them, and for that, Carol. So going back to these droughts and things being unearthed, I would believe, being this prediction followed the one prior about underground tunnels and such, I would think that things drying out are going to reveal one of these tunnel systems. That is basically, it'll look like it was purposely hidden with the waters, as if somebody purposely hid it there. And speaking of even other things drying up, I don't know if this has anything to do with Oak Creek Island and that whole thing. Major discoveries are coming in the summertime for Oak Creek Island, including some type of treasure that helps them to see exactly what's there. So I don't know if they're having a dry spout and severe heat over there in Oak Creek Island, which is right off the coast of Canada, but something to look for. I like that stuff in that show. I haven't watched it in years, but I'm sure it's still there if Spirit's showing me, or at least the guys are still there digging. So I'm sure I'll get more information on this later. Let's move on to number 10. There will be the discovery of several newly discovered planets. That's right. And one of them is not going to be that far from us. I don't know how far, but it's going to be not that far. I wonder too, when Spirit was showing me this, likely that one of these is connected to Nibiru or Planet X that's in the Bible. And Nibiru and all the other, it goes by several names, most commonly Nibiru and Planet X. I bet you that it's kind of related to that, because I believe the comet in the Bible, Planet Wormwood, as it's called, and the Hopi call it the red Kachina, or the blue Kachina. Sorry, red Kachina is Nibiru, and excuse me, and the Lakota call it the red star and the blue star. That blue star, I have no doubt, is related to the comet Apophis, which is going to skim the edge of the Earth on Friday, April 13th, 2029. That's one of the videos at the top of my list that I'll be working on and uploading. Got great information about that whole prophecy and everything. All the more reason to smash that subscribe. So yes, major discoveries of planets. Space will reveal so much to us in 2023, more than we will see the discovery of a new solar system, several new solar systems, and one galaxy that actually very closely resembles our own, all the way down to where the planet that they believe has life on it resides, how far from the sun and so forth. So that one, I look forward to hearing about that. This is going to be one of the biggest discoveries from space ever, along with more disclosure and clear proof of other galactic beings, aliens, and flying vessels or spaceships or UFOs. I look forward to that without a doubt. And I said last year in predictions that UFO sightings and all would skyrocket, and they have, like never before. But wait until 2023. Wait, as time progresses, it's going to get more and more and more, and it's going to be like they're not going to be able to deny it. I have more about that somewhere in my predictions today. I had visions of number 11, visions of several truly amazing discoveries into the depths of the seas and oceans. One appears like an ancient structure that very closely resembles ancient Egypt, just like the one that was found off the coast of Cuba, if you're not aware of that. Exactly like that. So for some reason, this discovery, I don't know why, seems to be even bigger than the one off the coast of Cuba, which they hid, of course, for a long time, didn't want you to know about. And I think perhaps it won't be as deep in the ocean as the one near Cuba. And I think that might be what makes it more exciting. The Bermuda Triangle came to me very strongly when I was preparing channeling this information. And this particular prediction. The Bermuda Triangle came up strongly, either because it's connected to this particular discovery I just talked about, which makes the most sense, of course, or perhaps another discovery or several discoveries within the Bermuda Triangle. I would not, now this just pops in my mind, because there's going to be a lot of incidents revolved around vehicles, mainly trains, subways, airplanes, helicopters, and so forth. So I wouldn't at all be surprised to see some plane go down the Bermuda Triangle and disappear, because I do have airline predictions. I don't know if I'll get to them ones today, but this brings up parts of the Malaysian air flight that disappeared. That kept coming to me. And I found it interesting that all happened in a 7-year, just like we're in now. So parts of Malaysia flight that had gone missing will be alleged to have been discovered. And Spirit says alleged to have been discovered, which makes me think that it's not real. Thank you, Veronica, for your check cash. Love and gratitude. So while 2 other discoveries include a Norse pirate ship and another even older underwater discovery, I have visions of a large crew on the waters pulling ancient artifacts out of the blue seas. So that'll be interesting. I love discoveries and stuff like that. Number 12, a call for more investigations in 2023, including our friend, not my friend, not yours either, Fauci, who will and likely has already gone into hiding. We already, for the most part, know the truth, but we need justice to come back in and bring these truths to the forefront in 2023. And 2023 is definitely represented by the tarot cards, Justice, the Tower, and the fall, which is the Falling Tower. And yes, also the Devil card. They were the three cards that were revealed to me by Spirit. I didn't pick them. It's just what Spirit showed me. That will strongly represent 2023. And again, that's the card of Justice, the Tower card, which is the Tower falling, and the Devil card. And that Devil card makes me think of them pushing their New World global religious practices. So with the launching of so many new investigations in both the United States, Canada, and Australia, and other countries as well, we will begin to see company heads and people within groups like the CIA and FBI being pushed out. Some are actually going to be quietly dismissed until folks start to catch on about their dismissals. Here in the United States, we already have had so many, mostly all a bunch of BS, as we know, investigations, not just this year, but even going back to 2020. So many BS investigations in things like Russian collusion, Trump's tax records, and so many others, as you know. The January 6th event is another one, and so many others. Just about all of them proved to be nothing but a bunch of bull poop. Bull poop. And soon the tables are actually going to be turned, according to Spirit. The investigators will now become the investigated. I thought that was interesting. The investigators will become the investigated. This will include more shocking truth drops from both, of course, Twitter, WikiLeaks, and new whistleblowers who come along in 2023. This isn't in my notes, but I probably forgot to put it in there too. I can't remember what that person's name was from the military, who is transgender, that blew the lid on stuff in the military. I can't think of their name. Somebody in the chat will say it. But that person came to my mind strongly while I was getting this information about truth drops and such. And therefore, it makes me believe strongly that one of these big whistleblowers that's coming is a whistleblower like that person. Manning, is that his last name? Manning? I can't remember. Nobody's saying in the chat who it is. So where's all my friends in the chat? Somebody will put it in there. Chelsea Manning. I was right, Manning. I knew that last name was Manning. Chelsea Manning. Yeah, another one of those. Thank you for that in the chat room. OPT. Okay, get down with OPT. So some investigation results are finally going to help actually ascend humanity into that higher level of consciousness that I mentioned earlier. But at the same time, it's also going to anger people. It's going to bring a lot of anger to the opposite, and even to those who reach that new level of consciousness. And that's kind of what we need. We need people to wake up to stuff that, I mean, look at Twitter, for example. Everything that they called a conspiracy theory with Twitter has now been proven to be fact. Say it a million times. They use that word conspiracy to hide truth. Whenever they throw that word out there, you know that it's not true. Like, basically, that's whoever, the government or whoever, telling you it's conspiracy. Basically saying it's real. We're just not going to say it. So it'd be really, really interesting. So when people ascend into a higher consciousness and realize that they've been tricked and duped out of truth, they're going to get angry. This will bring about protests, which are happening, as I said, last January would occur, but there's going to be more and more changes with governments. Again, 2023 will be a year of major disclosure, not just UFO disclosures, but major disclosures. And it's going to be disclosures that they don't want out. It's going to be that kind of stuff, where like, for example, just an example, like UFOs. It's going to be because somebody really, people see it. People are seeing it for themselves. So they're going to be the best leaks that come out is when stuff like, for example, a UFO crashes and people see it. That would be a huge disclosure. And now, we're not in the 1940s or 1930s. They're not going to be able to pull another Roswell. People are too smart and onto that by this point in time. without a doubt. So going back to the protests, and I said last year would be huge. 2022 would be huge for changes of government and for protests and so forth. And that's exactly what's happening. But it's going to escalate. There will be some quiet points in 2023 before we get to 2024 and things really rise up. And then 2025. If you have not seen my tribulation video that I did, make sure you go back and check it out. It was a while ago, maybe even a year ago. Tribulation 2025 to 2032. That's a period of time that you're going to want to make sure that you're not scared, but you're prepared. Let's move on to number 13, my lucky number. On the topic of truth, it certainly would not be fair for me to mention Elon Musk and Twitter, of course. I said from the beginning that his Twitter drops will get better and better each time, and that he is saving the best for last. Of course he is. Of course he is. But here's the thing. He does actually possess a list, according to my spirit guides last night, kind of like Epstein's flight log list, that kind of list, with names that could really majorly bring down people really hard. So right now, Elon's mind is still up on Mars, trying to figure out whether or not he should release this list. Because when he not only release this list, but release it when he releases the most shocking drops that he's going to drop, which will be towards the end, probably the last drops. And after they say the last drop's there, more stuff's going to show up. So don't take the last drop as the last drop. Spirit just gave me that information now. Threats to Elon's life will, of course, increase, or at least appear that way as far as threats, as I still believe that Musk is a big part of the New World agenda. I've been saying it all along. But at the same time, regardless, there are still really crazies out there that bring a true threat to his life. A true threat to his life, not only him, his family, and those he holds most dearly. So this could, as of now, according to Spirit, hold Musk back from releasing all the files that he possesses. Either way, we will know by February. February also happens to be a 9-month in numerology, which is all about endings, all about the death of cycles. So therefore, it would make the most sense that the final Twitter drops would occur likely in February. Or one of these new whistleblowers steps forward around the that brings something or someone down pretty hard, because people are falling this year. That's that tower card that Spirit showed me. People are falling. So let's hope it's the New World agenda. Number 14. Some of the major discoveries will also be made revolved around Atlantis and proof of its existence. This includes ancient tablets and scripts. A majority of amazing discoveries will also take place out of Antarctica. Number 15. Back on the subject of truth, 2023 will be a year of disclosure, as I spoken earlier. As I stated, disclosures like Twitter drops, but also more disclosures in the realm of UFOs and alien life. Sightings, unidentified flying object sightings, is going to increase so significantly, with several involving military jets chasing UFOs, which will be caught on film, of course. Much more clear, and this will probably be more likely near a city or somewhere big, because I feel like it's kind of a big deal. But much more clearer footage will appear to be faked, of course. And there's a lot of fake stuff out there already. But it's going to be so hard to tell the fakes from the real. And that's part of what they do too. The government and all put out the fake videos on purpose to make you not know what's right and what's wrong, what's true, what's not true. But over the next few years, the majority of humanity, according to Spirit, will have actually personally witnessed strange objects and many clear views of UFOs in the skies. And that's how the biggest disclosure is going to happen. The more and more that show up, the more, and eventually, like everybody already knows, but like everyone will truly know. Truly know. So very, very interesting. Where did that go? Oh, here we go. Sorry, it went ahead of me. So over the next few years, the majority. Oh, I said that already. I said that already. Uh, yeah. So truth leaking out. UFOs, strange objects. Some of these are going to be alleged to also be drones and will be spotted in the air near war activity. So this one was really interesting. The Spirit showed me that UFOs, but they're going to say they were drones, are going to be found near, like, say, Europe, Russia, or UKR. And Spirit also said that them being spotted near war activity, that one of our governments is likely, most of them, that they're going to be spotted. And, our governments have already reversed technologically engineered their own UFO lookalike flying objects. And these designs in the future are going to be used in some type of warfare actions against another person or another country. I thought that was kind of creepy, actually. Well, that's kind of creepy. Then that goes to the whole UFO invasion that was in their agenda books, their plan books. That would make sense. All UFOs are shooting bombs or missiles. That'll be it. But that confirms that particular thing. That particular conspiracy. They say it's all conspiracy. So number 16. In the world of artificial intelligence, we are going to see somewhat scary advances in technology, including artificial intelligent robots that are claimed to feel emotions. First denied, but truth is revealed. That's creepy. That was really creepy. The most scary will actually be special artificial intelligence warfare technology that has already been developed and soon will be released by some military forces. That's right, artificial intelligence created specifically for an act of war. It is hard to explain by my visions and such, but it almost appears part of it like robots with guns, reminded me of like RoboCop posing an invasion. I know it sounds crazy. So whatever this militarized AI advancement is, it's going to be crazy. And we will see this in the near future. I don't know if it'll be in 2023, but it's coming. I'm thinking it probably likely will be. But artificial intelligence and Elon Musk will also start the first human trials, which is also creepy. And then soon after, will push their miracle agenda, of course, for their evil agenda in 2023. A reminder that, again, every Tuesday, I do my live Tittle Tea Time predictions updates. As we approach future events, I often get more clarity about predictions in details closer to them coming into fruition. So all the more reason to make sure you smash that subscribe. Don't forget to click that like button. I love you, so please click that like button. It'll show the algorithms that you want this to show up and things like this to show up on your feed. And when you hit the down button, that does absolutely nothing. It makes this stuff not appear on your feed. That's about it. Other than that, nobody sees it, and really nobody cares. Quite honestly, let's move on to politics. Political structure, number 17. The politics show in the United States begins with more people stepping into the presidential ring. There's going to be a lot of them this round, especially several women, which we need. DeSantis, he's going to step into the ring, or very closely step into the ring one way or another. He is. I'm not sure how, but Spirit said one way or another, he's in it. He may be talked into dropping out by Trump or not running by the Trump team. Although Trump is currently, according to Spirit, considering asking DeSantis to be his running mate. And the only reason for this is to prevent the strong competition, which is kind of a smart move if you think about it. I mean, it's kind of a smart move. You know that guy's going to win and he's going to be more popular than you. Why not ask him to be the VP? Not that he'll accept, but Spirit did say one way or another he'll be in the ring. In the ring. I didn't say at the top, but in the ring. because Trump is actually considering a female running mate, as I predicted in the past, with an olive skin tone or a darker skin tone. Even Elon Musk is going to be asked to step in as a candidate, but he's going to decide not to because his hands are way too full and he's dealing with enough backlash from his Twitter drops and other things. So Musk jumping in as a candidate and decides not to step in because his hands are full, but he already fears for his life as well. And he don't want to be out there campaigning when he's already in a place of slight fear, not severe fear, but slight fear. And it's more for his family than for himself. But Elon Musk will likely actually end up being a candidate in the 2028 elections. Thank you, Therese, for your 2222 chat cash. Happy New Year. You are loved as well. Thank you. Let us move on to the Bidens. Yeah. Number 18, to be exact, 2023 will be a challenging year for the entire Biden family, as it will appear that karmic debt will soon be paid, or is being paid. There is a big chance that his karma himself is about to be served on a golden platter, starting actually with Jill Biden. Jill Biden enters into her 9 personal year in numerology for 2023. Remember, the 9's all about endings and putting things to rest. So what big thing is going to rest for her? Maybe not having to run around all over the place with JB. We'll soon see. But also, Jill is holding way too much stress. And it's starting to put a lot of pressure, Spirit showed me, around her heart, her lungs, and other organs. And it is likely she's going to spend some time in the hospital bed this year. Jill must be very cautious not to catch like the bug, because like the 2020 bug, because that could actually take her out of the picture completely. Bye-bye, Jilly. Number 19, still on the subject of the Bidens. As I stated in past predictions, baby Biden cannot hide behind his daddy for much longer. More truth and new footage caught on video and or audio will place baby Biden's life in grave danger, which I think it probably already is, but even more so. Hunter is going to face new allegations that will be true again, as we know, along with several lawsuits or hit by one big lawsuit, not sure by who. But I do see baby Biden being led into what appeared to me in my vision as a courthouse, being like let in and like reporters and snap pictures and all that. But I could not tell whether this was, whether he was being led in handcuffed, or whether it was due to the crowds of reporters in my visions as to whether he was or was not handcuffed. I couldn't tell. It almost made me feel like that. But it could be that he's just being protected by men in uniform. But regardless, it definitely did not appear good and does not feel very good for baby Biden's future. I meant to look what year he was in, and I totally forgot. So this brings me, and I probably did look, actually. I don't remember what year he's in. Number 20. This brings me to Joey B himself. Joey Biden, the man who thinks we still live on Mars and will continue to decline in health, which is a given. I mean, you don't need to be psychic to figure that one out. There will be one point where we won't see or hear from Biden for the longest time period since he's become since he stepped into his puppet position. There's going to be a gap of time where he's like gone missing. They'll be talking about it on the media. Where is he? Why is he not saying anything? This is the longest time he's gone without saying anything. And that means there's a big, severe decline with his health, and they don't want him in front of you. So both February, March, and the month of December, if he actually makes it that far to December, will be the worst times for both Biden's health and his reputation as well. With the coming leaks and the fall of the dollar, the puppet masters are going to try to keep Joe in hiding as much as possible, breaking the United States record again for him missing more time than any other president. if they keep pumping methamphetamines in his body, because that's what they're doing, you can tell his eyes are like this, methamphetamines into his body, Spirit showed me that soon it's going to break him, like completely break him. Spirit was showing me that his bones are getting very, very brittle, along with his heart, liver, and kidneys are all getting very weakened, both by his condition, but also due to the drugs that they're pumping into his system to get him up and running. That's why there's going to be that big, long period of downtime for him, because they're going to have to cut back on pumping him up. Sadly, Spirit showed me visions of Kamala. I can't even believe that woman is the vice president of this country. It blows my mind. But it makes, I just vomited in my own mouth right there. Kidding. So I feel that soon they will actually slowly begin to push Kamala into Joe's seat. They will have her take the microphone more than Biden himself in 2023. So mass media is going to go against Biden and the Biden regime due to more truth leaks and another downward spiral of the United States. And of course, his health will take a turn for the worst, as Biden will step out of the race. If he even stepped in, I don't know. And if he don't step in, he's not going to step in at all. Or if he does step into the race, he's going to step out. I would not at all be surprised to see his funeral take place shortly before he's actually meant to leave the White House, where he's not even at. Perhaps even in the month of November, right before his birthday. And actually even more, so November would be the 9th. Yeah, that would make sense. November, endings, death of cycles. Let's move on to number 21. Major disruptions in truth leaks bring about investigations, as I stated earlier. Oh, my legs are cramping. But also a drama show in the justice system, and more so with the Congressional Congress. I see many congressional meetings that actually have Americans glued to the screen, glued and their eyes watching these proceedings. I see an awful lot of shouting and people getting up from their seats and walking out. Most of these hearings will be a show, of course, to move our attention off the true issues that are at hand. That's what they do. We know that. So this won't be just within the United States. Other countries like Australia, Canada, the United Kingdom will also see, congressional or whatever they do in different countries, hearings and meetings that become the media circus televised events. It's going to be a big deal. In several countries, you're going to see more and more people up on those microphones screaming, shouting, yelling, people walking out. It's going to be really interesting. And even more so in 2024 is what Spirit just said. Wait till 2024. 2023 is just a taste of what we're going to see with congressional meetings and all that crap. But here's the thing. Big part of it feels really exciting to me. Like people are finally getting up and fighting, like what the hell? Before we ain't got no rights left. Let's move on to number 22 and that nasty woman Pelosi. Remember, I told you that she was going to be pushed out. I thought it would be sooner than she was, but I told you she wasn't going to last long. And I just said that not that long ago, right before I said it many times over the past year. I said it right before she actually got pushed out the door. Thank God, or left, or whatever excuse that they give you. 2023 for the Pelosi's is a lot like the Bidens, and it's not going to be lucky for Nancy, as she also enters a 9-year of endings and death of cycles, just like Joe Biden. So it makes sense that she just left the Speaker of the House right at the end of her 8-year, took all that money and cashed in with it, because the 8 years about money, finances, and the money vibration. She definitely cashed in on that money vibration. And now she's in her 9. I didn't even think about that till just now, actually, which is endings, death of cycles. So she ended that before we got into the new year. And I guess her cycle, maybe technically ends yesterday. I don't know. Thank you, Patty, for your chat cash with infinite love and gratitude. So the Pelosi's, again, will not be that lucky as she enters into her 9 year. I see health issues, not just for her, but also for Paul. And Nancy Paul and Nancy both, and I believe Nancy's big ending of cycles for 2023 will actually be the loss of her husband. I mean, it could be her, but I'm thinking Paul's going to face not only many money issues of sorts. Spirit said money issues of sorts. I don't know what that means. Probably truth coming out. Maybe they'll lock their asses up where they belong. But in 2023, which breaks down his health even more so, according to Spirit. If he does not pass away in 2023, he's definitely out of here by 2024. Which takes me to 23, number 23. On the subject of politics and global politics, there's going to be a continued upheaval in the political arenas. It's going to get dirty as the elite evildoers wish to make new regime changes for many countries, especially for Russia and North Korea. You know, when we hear them saying, oh, we need a regime change. Yeah, like you did in Iraq, Afghanistan, and all the rest of the countries you completely friggin' destroyed. No, that's not good. But they're going to push that really hard for Russia and North Korea this year. And there probably will be a change, at least in North Korea. Which, again, if you just missed out earlier, I will be doing several other videos. I got my Tuesday show with more predictions, weather predictions, but also a country-to-country list of predictions. I can't do every country, just what Spirit tells me, but I have a lot of countries and information for individual countries. So you're going to want to smash that subscribe and like button. And thank you, Mortain. Thank you with infinite love and gratitude. Happy New Year to you. So, yeah, especially Russia. So crime and punishment is my next one. Category crime and punishment number 24. I see many large underground, how long have we been here? An hour. Many large underground rings that traffic the innocent kids and push sex and drugs finally being brought down to justice in late 2023 into 2024. I touched a little bit about that earlier on another prediction. However, I also saw several shocking arrests and raids, which was really exciting when they're raiding somebody that's dirty, scummy trash bag. And these raids were on rings, politicians, and celebrities as well. So, again, I got more on celebrity news later. But number 25, the release of prisoners in one state within the United States, I think it's Illinois, will become kind of trendy, as other prisons in the United States and abroad are going to begin releasing hard criminals onto our streets. This will run into Mexico, of course, as well as they release big criminals. And again, will seem trendy in a few places. Like it's going to be the trend. Let's do that. Let's let out our prisoners, criminals, save money. I think that's part of what it'll be, but also to screw the rest of us, right? And I forget his name, that cartel dude. Remember he escaped and all that? He just popped in my mind. So I'm thinking he's one that they are letting out or will let out. Also, again, not in my notes. The Spirit tells me that there's already ones being released that they're not telling you about. So we're going to see big news stories of things like the cartel member. And we're going to suddenly see, you know, reports that they're not in prison anymore, how they get out, who let them out. So that's going to be a big one. That's not my notes either. But anyway, another plan of the evildoers, of course, is to slowly let them out while slowly killing the rest of us with their chemicals and everything else that they do. Which takes me to number 26. I hope you're having a good day and Happy New Year to y'all. If you just got here, welcome. Satnam. I got like probably over 50 predictions, and I'm not covering them all in this video today because I used to do this show for 3 hours, sometimes longer than 3 hours. And what I've noticed over the past few years is people don't focus, or they don't come back and they don't watch it all. It's too long for people. Some people won't even click on it because it's too long. So I'm keeping this one half the time, and I will bring out more predictions this month. That's the good thing with being a part of this tribe and hitting that subscribe is I'm always getting more details, more information. And if you look the record over the past year, there'd be Tuesdays that I would say something and Wednesday it would happen. Kind of wild. It was a wild year with predictions and prophecies for sure. So moving on to number 26. What category was I in? I forget. Crime and punishment, I think. I have a vision of people being rounded up. I've had these visions in the past, different ones, but rounded up, arrested, and being thrown into large vans. I thought it was really interesting because it appeared to me like this roundup of people, and one of my visions was the same city, the same area. Kind of like going into DC. We can only hope, right? Going into DC and throwing them all in the paddy wagons, right? Wouldn't that be great? But it appears like a roundup of people in the same city or area, and Spirit makes me feel that this is going to occur in many places, including and especially here within the United States. Now, Spirit also just told me that a lot of this within the United States is going to hit even more so in 2024, but we'll see the beginning of that really start to happen this year. The people I saw being arrested in the one vision that I had looked like more like businessmen and women that were dressed pretty damn well. So that's what really fascinated me about that one vision that Spirit showed me. I'm like, oh my God, who is it? The company heads? I don't know who it is, but some of them were dressed nice. They were all, it was like the van was going around throwing them all in the paddy wagon. Multiple wagons, actually. Spirit just said multiple. So I see on the back of some of the jackets, FBI. And what was the other one? I see on jackets of one, I put rain. That can't be. Oh, raid. Raid, duh. Never mind. Sometimes I didn't even have time to go over this again before starting. So FBI on the back of the jackets, which means the FBI is going to be responsible for at least one of these large roundups of people. Probably the one with the business suits and dressed well people. One or more of these roundups will be one of the top stories in 2023. So that's going to be exciting, which takes me to the story of Hollywood, home of the Satan worshippers. And number 27, sadly, this person came into my brain, which I'd rather they not come into my brain. That's Bill Cosby. And Spirit said that his reign will soon come to an end by 2024. As well as major health issues that already include dementia and Alzheimer's, which I'm sure they're not telling anybody about that. This could also be stroke, and it's only slight dementia or Alzheimer's right now. That's going to get more severe as the year comes to a close into next year. He will try to do a comeback. Nobody's going to come. Nobody's going to go see that guy. And if you do, you should be ashamed of yourself. Must be getting desperate for money at the end. The family, not him, that they're trying to push him out to do a little comedian tour. I'm sorry, you are not funny anymore. You used to be really, really hysterically funny, but you ruined that. And that isn't going to work out. One of you told me about that in a comment, I think, and I'm like, that is not going to happen. That is not going to work out. There'll be, I wouldn't doubt, again, a year of protest, that if he does, protests will cause him to have to cancel. But anyway, going back to his health and issues with dementia or Alzheimer's, this could actually also be a stroke, was one of my thoughts. Getting hit with a stroke, along with being hit with losses of money in 2023. That's why he wants to go back out again. That this all will take Bill to the grave and back to the burning depths of hell where he belongs. Number 28. Celebrity deaths. How much more do I got here? I thought I was stopping halfway through. I guess I'm going to finish the categories. Again, I hope you're having a great day. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Celebrity deaths, number 28, will be on the rise quite significantly in 2023. We are going to see somewhat of a repeat of 2022, but on a more extreme level when it comes to iconic deaths like that of the Queen and so many others. Not only will we see the political arena endure many deaths and losses as well, so will Hollywood and the music industry both. We will see the death of another very young musician, like what happened to Aaron Carter, which I believe he was totally knocked off. Excuse me. A few deaths will be due to drugs, of course, overdoses, and fentanyl. And it's going to seem really odd, is what Spirit says, where you see all these, like, say, rock legends passing, like, all close to each other. And of course, they don't always tell us what really happens to people. It's just a thought for the brain. But Spirit also said some of them, especially some of these older rock stars or musicians, are going to pass from some type of bug, complications from a bug. Thank you, Patty M. Happy New Year to you with love and gratitude for your chat cash. And I lost my spot because I was seeing Patty up there. People are dropping like flies, says somebody. Yes. Wait until this year. And if you remember, 2 years ago, I predicted that there'd be mass die-offs. 2020 January, I think it was January 2020. Don't quote me on the time, but I said there'd be mass die-offs that would come, and we ain't seen nothing yet. But anyway, I saw, going back, it's going to be really odd while these people all pass away. I had a vision of a small plane crash, actually several. And again, this is how one numbered prediction is actually several predictions in one. I just tried to number them a little bit so people, when they comment and all, can say, hey, number 26, you said that and it happened or whatever. Make it easier for everybody and myself, of course, too. A few deaths. Again, I saw a vision of a small plane crash, actually more than one, two of them at least. But one I felt so connected to be a musician or band members. You know, couple things pop in my mind. Buddy Holly, Leonard Skinner, and then also I got visions of JFK Jr. and his alleged plane going down. So they all popped in my mind, and Leonard Skinner just popped in my mind. So Leonard Skinner was pretty much almost the entire band, not the whole band, but a good part of it. And again, with JFK, it was just him and his family. So I would think these separate crashes, one would be maybe a politician, maybe with their family, another one being a band and a legend. So there's probably three in a row, three altogether, because we know things always come in threes, right? Always. I see Celine Dion. I'm just repeating this from predictions over the past week or two that were on my Tuesday show. Celine Dion has that, what's it called? Frozen syndrome, I think it is. And she's going to be one of the many, many losses that I believe we are going to see in 2023. And if I remember correctly, I believe Celine is in her 4th year. A lot of people end up sick or passing away in that year, between the 4 and the 5. I noticed that as a medium and seeing people, so many deaths in my circle of life. I've noticed that pretty strongly. The 4 and the 9 are the two most common. And I'm pretty sure Celine's in her 4, but don't quote me. I can't remember. Or maybe she's going into her 9, but she's not going to make it, folks. She's not going to make it. Number 29, which is sad for her kids and everybody. But that's what she gets for listening to statistics and getting popped with the needles. I'm just assuming. I really don't know that. Just don't quote me on that one either. Number 29, a huge hit to Hollywood, and the woke Hollywood is coming in 2023 as viewership awards. Award shows like the Oscars decline even further. So part of this prediction here comes from my top 10 predictions. It's another one that I have a little bit about in here. But if you missed yesterday's top 10 predictions, go back, because there's a lot of detailed information that I didn't completely include in today. Top 10. I'll probably do another top at some point this month, but we'll see. Going back to award show, nobody watch that crap anymore, especially after Will Smith slapped somebody. That was just, what a joke. I used to like that guy. Now I can't even look at him anymore. It's sad. Like their egos are just way too big. Movie theater attendance is also going to be down, and many theaters are going to begin closing their doors soon. Hollywood's going to be hit hard with overdue karmic debt as Hollywood continues to trickle down and fall off a cliff. Kind of like the mudslide visions that I had of California. I see visions of mudslides. Again, if you want to know weather, we're not covering that today, so you're going to want to stay tuned for the weather predictions, because it's going to be the most wildest year ever when it comes to weather patterns, earthquakes, all that stuff, big time. And I did do some prediction around that in my top 10 yesterday. Anyway, this is also going to bring about several merging deals with all this current debt and all in the film industry and with media and music companies. We're going to see a lot of that, these companies merging, and you know that's part of their thing too, merge, so you don't have a choice anymore. Merge all the cell phone companies so you only have one cell phone or 2 or 3 to choose from. This is how they bring everything together into their one large global government. So we have to resist, my friends. Be a part of the resistance. Number 30. Disney. Poor Mickey Mouse. Poor Mickey Mouse. Wow. I talked about Disney many times in the past, and many things I said that came into fruition. But Disney's once again going to have a very rocky year with their woke company society. But this time, they're going to take a ride on their own little roller coaster, but it ain't going to be a little roller coaster. It's going to be a big one. They're going to go on Space Mountain. Disney's going to ride their own ride. And Disney may be one of the companies I just mentioned a moment ago. With the merging of companies, Disney could be one of those merging companies or merging with another company. While Disney stocks and park attendance at their parks is going to drop significantly as well. Now, this vision comes to me now. It's not in my notes, but Spirit says part of the park, Disney Park, is going to be shut down. I'm not getting a reason why, and I'm pretty sure the one in Florida, but part of the park's going to be shut down. And that's going to affect them because when people find out part of the park's shut down, like say Epcot Center, people ain't going to want to go. Interesting. So Disney stocks park attendance, and Disney will face more issues with employees being caught with their panties down. Yes. It's happened a lot. I said it in the past, and it all started happening 2 years ago. Back in 2020, I said it, and it happened in 2020. But literally, this will be caught with their pants down, literally with underage people. That's where, it gets real sick. I would expect another big change in power within the Disney Corporation. Not just the CEO of the main, hub of Disney, but CEOs and higher ups from many other sub companies. This is bound to drag Disney company stocks down significantly. And my computer is about to die. I need to grab the cord. 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Can't have my computer dying. I hope my phone's got enough battery in it. We're almost done on YouTube for today, I think. Number 31, Hollywood. Many legal issues will come within Hollywood and for the Hollywood elite as truth leaks out, and the tarot card of justice is revealed for Hollywood as well. Remember, I told you earlier, I got 3 cards: Justice, the Tower, and the Devil card. Soon, Hollywood will become very guilty once again of another ring of people like Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein type predators. At least one of the large arrests that I saw earlier, several altogether, of celebrities and folks within the Hollywood industry. So they may not be celebrities to us, but they'll be kind of celebrities within that Hollywood circle of evil. One is going to be connected to organized crime and, of course, trafficking of drugs and links to kids, of course, sadly. But at the same time, happily, that they're finally getting busted. While 2023 is going to introduce the world to another Jeffrey Epstein type thing, and more likely, there's going to be huge truth leaks that come out being brought forward in the whole Epstein case that they've been trying to push under the carpet so strongly. Somewhere there is actually a trail, according to Spirit, there's actually a trail as to who pulled the trigger for Epstein to shut up. Basically who hung him, if he actually even was hung or they pulled him out. But regardless, there's somebody that Spirit said pulled the trigger, so I'm going to say that then he has to be dead, right? But there's a paper trail. Somehow there's a trail as to who made that call, who said, pull the trigger. So this trail, as far as who pulled the trigger for Epstein to shut up, we can together can hope and pray that this trail that Spirit mentioned to me yesterday is actually discovered and brought into the light. So we can hold that intention together, that the trail that leads to the trigger person for Epstein, because that will apparently, according to Spirit, that will blow the lid off of it even more so. Many folks will comment to me things like, what about Canada and other areas not covered in today's live show? As I said earlier, I have so many predictions that I'd be here all day, not including my weather predictions. And then I told you I'll cover many different countries in a video about all the different countries that I have on my list and my predictions, which will be shared and recorded. You know, I'm doing that after YouTube. I have my group on Zoom, and I'm going to go over everything with them after I take a break. And I will record that and share that, of course, with you all in an upload or in another live video. I do cover many countries, like I said. I will either upload the rest of today's predictions, or more likely, again, I'll do it live this week. And don't forget to tune in on Tuesday, because I'll have a whole topic of predictions for Tuesday as well. I have, what is it? 28 pages of stuff. And for y'all, I only covered, I didn't do airlines. Hold on. What was the last one I did? Hollywood? I didn't do economy. I think I have economy predictions still for you today. But yeah, and I only covered half of what I actually have, a little bit more than half of what I actually have. So again, remember to be a part of the tribe, smash that subscribe, click that like button so you can tell those algorithms you want this stuff to show up on your feed and notifications. Very important. Let me give you a little bit about the economy to end it, because we've been here 70 minutes and I didn't want to do more than 90 actually. So the economy, whether you believe it is a conspiracy or not, there is an actual plan in place to reset the entire globe. There's even a book called The Great Reset by Klaus Schwab, Santa Claus. And that actually details their sick plan and agenda. They even actually outline this very clearly on the WEF website. That's another on my list of videos is to go through that thoroughly and show you clearly that they put their whole agenda out on there. It's pretty sick, actually. So when it comes to the economic collapse, I will continue to stick by my original prediction from years ago that their plan to instill a new world currency will occur in 2024. It's an 8-year. It makes the most sense, which takes me to number 32 in the area of economy. The economy will remain super rocky and appear like a bad roller coaster ride for many. January will prove to show clearly that markets are heading into the gutters even deeper. Another raise in interest rates will really screw the consumers and all of us, along with the growing prices of food, fuel, everyday essentials. October will be another month like January that we will see great drops in markets, while gold and silver also will have ups and downs, but more ups than downs than any other market, of course. But the rich will profit again, according to Spirit, once again, while the rest of the world suffers through major recession. I bet you Nancy Pelosi knows what to invest in. I'll bet you. I hope she gets caught. Remember my visions over a year ago of the Great Depression and folks lining up for food and water? This is coming much sooner than we would ever want to imagine. I see lines at the gas stations and lines outside of grocery stores. That was really interesting to me. Some grocery stores will actually be forced to close their doors and able to restock their shelves. So it's almost like a buying frenzy, I would say. Buying frenzy, or unless they're looting everything and need to restock their shelves. And Paris, like I said, you're going to have to tune in and subscribe to my channel to get specific predictions about different countries, because I'm not covering them today. I have way too much, and I've already been here for almost an hour and a half. And I have another group on Zoom of supporters that get that information first. Number 33. Jesus is number 33. Unemployment numbers are going to rise quite a bit in both the United States and globally. Politicians are going to use anything possible to flip the numbers and ignore the huge rise in unemployment. Big companies like AT&T, the airlines, and others are going to bring huge layoffs that add to the rise of unemployment. Unemployment will skyrocket in 2023, while again they use unemployment numbers to cover up the severity of our actual recession, because we are in a recession, which is number 34. 2023 will bring about phase 2 of crypto crushers. I call them crypto crushers. That's what they want to do. They want to crush the crypto market. But 2024, like I said before, will be a whole lot worse. An attack on crypto has already occurred, and there are flags that fly ever so falsely. And the grand scheme of it all, FTX, the puppet masters want nothing more than to take out all the cryptocurrencies, leaving just a very small handful that will be controlled by the central banking system, of course, which will lead to the prophesied mark of the beast in the Holy Bible's book of Revelation. Bitcoin will be one of them that sticks around and that one can eventually profit off of. According to you, because I don't watch other people, I have no desire, but apparently other psychics claim that Bitcoin was going to go up. That's why, because people in the comments, trolls said, oh, well, such and such says you're wrong and it's going to go up. Well, guess what? I said in January, go back to my predictions and even the end of 2021, that Bitcoin was going to take a plummet downwards. And folks, I was told I was crazy when I said that, but it did exactly what I said it was going to do. And this is going to continue. Like, luckily, a few of you heeded the warning. I got a lot of thank yous from folks. Thank you. I took my money out of there. Thank God, before it all went to crap. Because Bitcoin was over $41,000 in January when I made that prediction, and before I made that prediction. And last we left this year, 2022, just being over at 16.5 thousand. That's like literally almost a 60% drop. It's huge. Exactly. I warned you. Can't say I didn't warn you. This is also part. I told people to take their money out of that and go buy about gold or silver or something. Just like get your money out of there. But again, a rise high once again. Eventually Bitcoin will rise high once again, but it won't be for a little while. 2023 will be indeed a little bit better for Bitcoin year after it drops even lower than 15 before it begins to slowly rise up again. I am not yet clear on what exactly will occur, but Spirit makes me feel that something causes Bitcoin and the few other currencies to temporarily skyrocket. So they're doing something, the bankers or whatever, doing something where it plummets, it gets to a point, and then all of a sudden it's going to skyrocket up for a very short period and go back down again. So, and to me, that sounds like part of one of their plans, because, they're all about putting their money in there, hurry up and take it out. You got to kind of watch them. And that's what Spirit gave me that feeling of. Spirit also told me to keep an eye on the time of July and October for Bitcoin. I don't know why July number-wise, but because that's a 5-month, but we'll care that there are others like FTX scammer that will run with people's money. I said that was going to happen. That was another thing that I warned you. Take your money out of cryptocurrencies because they're going to run with everybody's money. That's exactly what FTX did. And I said that also in January or sometime in January. I don't know if it was New Year's Day, but that was part of my warning with economic predictions. So again, this is all part of the plan of the big bankers to surround the market and take it over so they can track all of your income and all of your purchases. And, these crypto and people running away with money, this is where they're going to say, well, we need to control it. For your safety and your well-being, we need to control it from the central banking system. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. And they're only going to keep those handful ones there that they're going to use, like Bitcoin. On a lot of the others, I'll hopefully get more information before I do an economic video. There's going to be a launching of new banking systems, digital currencies, which they did a test on in 2022. But this year, they're going to launch this new digital currency banking system, which will bring about, of course, the total collapse of fiat, paper money, and the current monetary system, which, again, I still believe it will turn in 2024. Not that it will collapse this year. I mean, likely can and will, but more likely next year will be at least when the new currencies go in. I'll have more again on these economic predictions in a separate video sometime this month. So be sure to smash that subscribe button. I can't remind you enough. Number 35, real estate. Real estate is going to plummet downwards, and it's going to make it a difficult year for real estate agents. Already a 20% drop in home sales is happening, and I see that dropping below 50%. This will force many smaller real estate agents and agencies to sadly go belly up. Again, it's all about killing the small businesses and the independent. There will be talks of another housing market crash in 2023, but luckily my feeling was that it'll be slightly saved, but I don't think it'll be saved in 2024. So number 36. Again, I remind you of my past visions of the Great Depression hitting many areas in 2023 will be when they finally actually admit that we're in a recession, for starters, even though we've already been in one since 2022. But this time they're not going to be able to not admit that we're in a recession. They will manipulate the numbers, including unemployment rises and other BS stories, in order to attempt to drive our attention away from the true issues at hand and the true recession that we are in. We're going to still see this recession continue to pound on small businesses and the self-employed. As large companies begin new merges in some smaller countries, it will drive businesses to sadly close their doors permanently. This is where we will begin to see governments swoop down to the rescue, and my visions of that Great Depression and lining up for food. So we will still see this much later in the year, around November, when shortages and problems really escalate, revolved around shortages. And after that September, during and after the September Mercury retrograde that comes up. Number 37. How far am I? 37. Economy. Now, that it is a surprise, not that it is a surprise to all of us or any of us, but we're going to see a significant summertime increase in gas and oil. This will also, again, sadly hurt businesses, especially small businesses in tourist destinations, like say here in Sedona. And the next holiday season, next year's holiday season, when folks decide to stay close to home and not travel because of the ridiculousness of how much everything costs. Remember, this is also just a part of their big agenda of the puppet masters. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa, I love you. So this is a plan of the puppet master elite. Oh, got an itch. Limit our travel. This is their goal, to limit our travel and our abilities to go further than 15 minutes from home. And if you don't know about the 15-minute cities, make sure you go and look that one up, because it's pretty thick. That's their plan. I predicted last January that crude oil would reach $100 per barrel. And I was pretty darn close. You got to give me that. $97. I was only $3 away. People said I was crazy. It ain't going to go that high. Well, get ready, folks, because crude oil prices are going to increase even higher and closer to the $150 per barrel in 2023. This is basically going to be because of Saudi Arabia, who is cashing in on this during this crisis. And eventually, Saudi Arabia is going to receive their karma on a golden platter as well. Good year for delivering karma now in 2024. I have more on Saudi Arabia when I do my country predictions, country to country, which will not be today. I am almost finished for today because I'm at that 90-minute mark, which was my mark, which takes me to number 38. Along with the collapse of the dollar, we will see a huge drop in the euro. And eventually, like the dollar, the euro will be no longer at all whatsoever. Do not be surprised when the euro actually goes first. Remember, in the past, Spirit has told us the Europe falls first, followed by Japan, and then the United States. And again, I still don't feel like this will happen until 2024, but some of it can hit in October of this year, but more so in 2024, which takes me to number 39. I think we'll stop at the big 40. Big changes for Apple as their stocks begin to decline, as I predicted last year, and probably they already have. I don't know. I don't watch the stock market, but a potential sale of Apple, or more likely a huge merge of Apple with another media giant, will be on the table. Maybe it'll be Disney. I would not doubt at all. It's Disney and Apple combined, or Apple and AT&T. I'm going to pick Disney first because that just popped in my mind. And usually when things pop in my mind, that's the most accurate. So a potential sale be on the table. We will see major sales and merges of companies taking place. Even Google will acquire several new companies, something to keep an eye out for, especially Google, because they're the biggest controllers of all. So again, if you're not again, because I didn't say this till now, but if you're not familiar with the Executive Order 14067, you are going to want to check that out for yourself. Executive Order 14067. It sounds like a zip code. 14067 outlines the plan of the United States and the puppet master bankers. You're going to want to know that plan because it's all outlined. They outline and put everything right in front of us. I've been telling you that for the longest time. Let me move on to 40. Lots of controversy will revolve around the BRIC agreement, if you're not familiar with that. Brazil, Russia, India, and China. It's a little pact they got going on there, you know. And if you're not familiar with BRIC, I took this out of there as a definition. It is a grouping acronym referring to the developing countries of Brazil, Russia, India, and China, which are identified as rising economic powers. Not yet clear exactly what the controversy involves quite yet, but I am sure I will get more details on the controversy that comes up or revolved around BRIC in the near future. And they seem like a controlling force without a doubt. Which actually, I have one more here, number 41. Must be the end of my economic ones for now. I see some type of confusion or something revolved around the United Kingdom and the EU, and a collapsing of several relationships that occur in 2023 with the EU. Remember, the EU is also a part of the evildoers' dark army and agenda of controlling everybody and controlling everything. And the EU goes into the same category as the UN, United Nations, the WEF, and NATO forces. They're all connected because those NATO is just part of the big Luciferian army. If you read the prophecies where it talks about the Antichrist having an army of his own, it's all connected to them, my friends. It's all connected to them. We're going to see more and more of this coming out in the near future. And with an hour and a half of predictions, I think that I need to go to the potty. But before I do, a few other things. Again, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, my friends. Click the bell and all so that you get notifications. And if you don't see my notification pop up on a Tuesday, you'll know that you can find me every Tuesday at approximately 5:30, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7:30, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Tuesday. Except one Tuesday I missed in 46 weeks, and that was because I ended up with the bug. Also, people mysteriously become unsubscribed from YouTube and from notifications. So always, not just this channel, other channels. If you're missing a channel and not seeing anything, content being put up by them, make sure you go check out their channels directly. And also the upload videos I do, only half the amount of people watch my uploads, which tells me that half of you aren't getting notifications. So it's always good to visit the channel. I also did a really creepy video on the biggest threat to humanity about 4 days ago, infertility, and it's really interesting and pretty wild and sick, so go check that one out. And I will be back with weather predictions, the other half or other quarter or third or whatever left over of these predictions, probably on Tuesday. And I thank you all again with infinite love and gratitude for the amazing love and support that you bring that make this whole thing possible. Because the amount of time, energy, and hours that go into this wouldn't be possible without all of you, especially the biggest supporters of all. And being a part of the tribe, hitting subscribe, joining the community down below. Check all the links. Also, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. It's free and it's right below. And make sure you check your settings that you are getting, to confirm your subscription to newsletter. You'll never miss a video or any other information if you subscribe to my newsletter. And as we always say, be kind to others as you wish others be kind to you, because we all know, I want to hear you all say it because I can hear you intuitively, because mean people suck. A wonderful, abundant, joyful, healthy 2023 to you, your family, and all those that you hold ever so closely. Much love, much gratitude. Spiritman JT saying, don't go. Namaste. Have a very beautiful rest of your day.